Yo, what's up, guys? A new video, and as one football player might call it, Siege! We have the typical Siege where, well, this was actually the first Siege of the season, so we are going to see a bunch of defense that are not that common. We are also going to see a Galleon that is like, yo, should I actually let my shit? Nope. Nope. But that's where you ruin a proper Tiana, a proper Galleon, so in case that your damage dealer cannot clean it up because Galleon messed up, Galleon and Tiana still have enough damage to actually clean up the shit. So, as I always keep saying, make this team proper. And the next one, back to Leo Mace. I think that was prior to the balance patch. I also think most guilds didn't really change anything after the balance patch yet. It's also kind of recommended to keep your units ruined when you have them on defense. I actually noticed that more and more lately, that people are switching that many runes that they're using that much stuff for their offense, I guess. I think that's mainly what's happening. Like, they have stuff on defense, they want to use that for offense, they switch those runes, and then they're like, yeah, but my stuff is not on defense, right? And it's like, and then you hit it like, hey, I just one-shot your Vigor. But yeah, that's... also, if you use Vigor in offense, I recommend to go some crit damage slot 4, mostly. You could do enough damage by additional damage artifacts, but in most cases, if you're on the offense side, especially with this offense, which is a very solid offense, actually, against a lot of things in Bruiser, be a little bit of crit damage. Then, my still favorite team, and I think it's not gonna get replaced as favorite team anytime soon. You might say, like, ooh, there's shield and there is immunity. Robo says, not a problem, not a problem. I even drain enough to get into my S3 right away. I guess that's kind of on the lucky side, not gonna lie. But yeah, this team is just super solid. It's there's just nothing else to say about it. It's just a super solid team. It doesn't get much better than this. The team I also pretty much always use and really like to use is this one. You do have to make your Feng 0 speed and just shit ton of HP, shit ton of defense. Otherwise, that hit would have done quite some. Actually, that hit still did quite some. Is it maybe the best to use against this team? Not entirely sure. I kind of overcome this by rune quality. That is a thing that is a pretty true factor. Like, a lot of the teams I use, I maybe not recommend you to use that much unless you have like actually like legit runes on that shit. And if you have legit runes on that shit, definitely use them because they're good. But if you don't, then they're not that good. Like, for example, a lot of... I think my Leo could have handled one more proc, and I would have still been fine. Even, like, at this stage, I would have been pretty sure that even if the Leo died right now, Feng Yang would have killed both. Feng Yang plus Alaya would have probably killed both. But in this case, the only thing that Leo's actually countering is, like, the Theomars for doing less damage. I hit 10Ks on the burn up per hit. Yeah, that's what I mean, like, rune quality. That's, yeah, that's a something. But yeah, is this by all means one of the better teams out there against this? Probably not. Like, this in this case is very easy to just Tiana or just snipe something. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways. But yeah, that Feng Yang hits hard. 6Ks, no armor break. Feng Yang, man, I really want the second Feng Yang. I have a second Leo. I don't have a second Alaya. If I don't get another Alaya when I get another Feng Yang, I would probably just use this team with Riley. It works worse, but it's still kind of similar style, and it's more free to play, I guess. But yeah, this team is just super solid. I use this team pretty much every siege since I got the Alaya. Then we have another one. In this case, pretty straightforward Bolvik Molong. I think Bolvik Molong is also one of those teams like you can't have enough of. Like, pretty much every siege, there's at least something to Bolvik. Maybe not always with the Molong, but since Manon is still meta on defense, Manon is actually, it's nerfed right now, but I feel like Manon is still one of the better things on defense, and that's just the RNG factor. Like, the damage factor she had barely even mattered. It was all about the RNG factor. And because of the RNG factor, she was also pretty much the only defense of normal net 5s that was still taking wins, so... For that reason, I would say Manon is still pretty dominant in defense. It's no longer as good because it's not destroying you like right away. And on the destroy runes itself, it's doing worse. So she was really good on destroy runes before. Currently, she's just okay-ish on the destroy runes because the damage is kind of lacking. But I think she's still pretty good for defense. Oh, wait. Actually had to open my door here for a second if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Well, you know what it is. Like the moment it's the 2v3 at some point, you just get your skills in. I actually did make the mistake twice in the server right now where my Molong sniped something and then the Molly sniped my Molong and then I had Bolvric and Lima against the Molly. That is not a situation you want to come at. Like that's actually my only lose for current season of in the server. That is where these two units had to clear a Molly. That actually worked after like I think it took me like pretty much 45 minutes. Don't recommend to do that. There was Molly pre-nerf though. And then I had to do that again against something else, but there it didn't work. So yeah, this team. Is this the most recommendable of teams? No. Absolutely not, because these units, like with one proc, I would have been dead there. these units would have fucked me up badly. But this was kind of end of the siege, and then definitely I'm just using what is in preset most of the time. Is that recommended if you want to get the highest win rate? No, absolutely not. What's good against this team? I actually think that a Feng Yang team against this is pretty good as well. However, you see more and more that people have Sylvia teams where the Sylvia is actually, or the whole team is actually super slow and just build on a lot of damage because Feng Yang is the most, or not even Feng Yang. What's it called? Leo is the most common counter against this. So for Leo being the most common counter against this, it's very common that people build like Sylvia's on like plus 80 speed or even less. Theomars is at plus, I don't know what speed. Did they have to open doors again here or some shit? I don't know. But yeah, people tend to build this at a pretty low speed at some point. But I also did notice that the moment I would have cleared Theomars and I still had 2 units on the field, I would have won this, pretty much. And for some reason, NFL likes to. But yeah, recommend the team against this? No, probably not really. If the Theomars procs or some stuff a few times, Theomars does a lot of damage. Theomars definitely still does a lot of damage. This is one of those teams that I tried to run on defense for the longest time. I'm also pretty sure that I tested everything that is possible with Ciara Gianna out there. And I pretty much always tested my Ciara Gianna against this team that I'm running right now. If it can clear this team consistently and good, then it means you have a good Ciara Gianna team. And at some point with Rogue, it was kind of doable. Like people didn't really know. Well, this team is also countering the Rogue version. The Marcha version was at some point pretty decent. People apparently now try Ren, which is pretty decent as well. It can RNG armor break like other units like this. So, and therefore it can switch targets, but I'm still like, does it really do enough though? I don't really think so. So it's just very hard to beat like the Garo Rakuni plus a light tank. It doesn't even have to be Halfas, but Halfas I think is one of the better ones out there. But yeah, Ciara Gianna. If there was a good team, I would have run it on defense, but currently I just say like there's none. Especially with the Oracle's nerf, like Oracle S1 nerf, they're only becoming like way worse. Because the Ciara buff didn't do anything and Gianna was just straight up nerfed. And I would say that the Rogue team was pretty nice, but that was very nice because of cycling. And currently you don't have any cycling in that, so that's just straight up not good. And this is pretty much the oldest team in the book and also the oldest counter in the book. And therefore, we're just going to hella speed it up because I don't really want to bother you with it. It just works the same way as always. Like I've showed this team a million times. You shouldn't use this on defense. Like this is the most free-to-play offense there is, I would say, that everyone built multiple of. If you are counted by that straight up, you shouldn't put that shit on defense anymore, even if it's good ruined. Like, sure, if it's very good ruined, it procs a few times, you can kind of get away with it, but 9 out of 10, it's just not what you want to see. So yeah, this team in this case, he was kind of limited on strippers, and being limited on strippers does mean that I'm going to Rika Yo. So is it the best with the Molly and the Molly and wrong element as it is in this case? Most cases it's pretty much fine. Like you're kind of good to go. Main thing is what you want to aim for a little bit more than is that you actually go for Wusa resets rather than Rika resets. That's the only thing. Like this team, it is a good team, but you have to play it smart. Like depending on who you're playing against, you have to reset the right thing. Most cases, you kind of want to reset the Molly so cleanses aren't happening, so Rika Dults can do its full potential. And the slow buff actually helps a lot because it mitigates the damage from Theomar slightly as well. I think the Ganymede in this case was like plus 170, plus 180, so it's relatively fast. It cycles a lot of turns. And yeah, Rika is just the cleanup, and Wusa's just the shielder. Wusa in this case, I mostly use a Swift Wusa for these kind of things. Sure, Vio Wusa might be better, but I also feel like in this case, I don't really need the procs to win, so I might as well just be faster rather than betting on some RNG. And this worked out pretty well, I guess. And then the final hit, a little bit more of a creative hit, but something that mostly works out pretty well. And that is a Douglas with a Seimei and a Molly. And I've been using this more often, and the Douglas in this case is pretty much similar Douglas as what I use in RTA. The only difference is that Douglas is on Destroy. And in this case, Seimei's heals are fucking insane. The only thing I actually have to kill is the Momo. And the moment we kill Momo, I'm actually surprised. Like, why did that not... How is Nora actually landing these things? I'm legitimately surprised. But yeah, Momo at some point might do quite some damage, but as long as we kill the Momo pretty fast with the Douglas, because we have Destroy, Nora healing is okay, but it is not that much and it doesn't heal every turn. So with that, I guess we're kind of good to go. Also, the moment Momo does do an AoE, the two units on the middle and the right, they are 100 res, so Momo's less likely to land her shit. I think she has a HP lead, right? She doesn't have Ackley. No, Nana has Ackley, but apparently this thing is on some good act because it's landing everything. But it's just one turn immunity. She actually needs to proc to get some damage in. And even then, if there's a few dots in that kind of shit, Seimei starts healing like a crazy one. And this is just, I would say, if you see this kind of teams with a Nora and pretty low damage, Seimei just becomes insanely good. In this case, Seimei is Vio, but Seimei doesn't need to be Vio. Seimei actually doesn't need any rune set. You can just build a triple energy and 100 res and it's good to go. Like, it doesn't even need to take turns. Best thing you can probably put on it is just Despair Revenge, because then you just... At least your S1s become useful, because her S2 is useless here, her S1 is useless here. It's just all about the passive. And that's why Seimei, she is good. She's actually very good. She's very much a boring unit. Like, I would pretty much trade in Seimei for nearly everything. Not because I would say, like, ooh, another unit is better. No, just because Seimei is boring as fuck. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's just standing there being a passive totem. She could be a totemist or something. Well, that was the 10-10 first Siege of the season. I will be bringing more Siege videos to y'all if y'all are interested. So let me know in the comments if you want to see more Siege content. Guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.